Namaskar everyone. In this chapter we will learn about natural resources. So first of all we learn that what are natural resources. There are many valuable things in nature that are necessary for us to live on this earth. Some of these are air, water, soil, forests, animals and minerals. They are known as natural resources. We use these natural resources in our daily lives. Two types of natural resources, renewable and non-renewable. Renewable resources are those that will either never run out, like the sun, or are constantly renewed by natural processes, like water is renewed by the rain. And the examples of renewable resources are animals, crops, forests, water, soil, and sunlight. Now, non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are those which once used up are exhausted and are either not renewed by nature or renewed very slowly over millions of years. And the examples are fuels like coal, petroleum, and gas, and minerals like gold, iron, and copper. Now we will learn about some renewable resources. So first we are going to learn about soil. Soil is the loose uppermost layer on the earth's surface. Plants grow in soil. They get water and mineral salts from the soil. Since plants make food for all living things, so all living things depend on soil for food. Many animals live in the soil, insects such as earthworms and ants, and bigger animals such as mice and rabbits live in the soil. Humans depend on the soil for many things. We grow different kinds of cereals, vegetables, and fruits in the soil. We use soil to make building materials such as bricks and cement. We use clay obtained from soil to make pots and utensils. Soil is an important renewable natural resource. Now, water. Water is renewable natural resource essential for life. Humans, animals and plants all need water to live. We need water to drink, bath, wash, irrigate fields, and for many other purposes. Water is a precious resource. We should not waste it. Next, forest. A forest is a large area of land where there is a thick growth of trees and other plants. In a forest, plants grow on their own. The kinds of plants that grow in a forest depends on the climate and soil of that place. Forests are useful to us in many ways. They provide us with wood, medicines, paper, and oxygen. To save forests, trees should be cut in a planned way. For every tree cut, several new trees should be planted so that the forest cover is not reduced. Next, animals. Animals raised by us for our use are known as livestock. They are useful to us in many ways and are an important natural resource for us. Some animals raised by humans are cattle, like cows, buffaloes, sheep, goats, and camels. Next is sunlight. Sunlight is one of the most important renewable resources. Sunlight provides us warmth and light. Plants use sunlight to make their food through a process called photosynthesis. Sunlight is a source of solar energy which is used for running solar cars and solar cookers. Okay, do you know students how does solar work? Let me tell you. When the sun shines onto a solar panel, Energy from the sunlight is absorbed by the PV cells in the panel. This energy creates electrical charges that move in response to an internal electrical field in the cell, causing electricity to flow. Learn about some non-renewable resources. So first we learn about coal. Coal is classified as a non-renewable energy source because it takes millions of years to form. Coal contains the energy stored by plants that lived hundreds of millions of years ago in swampy forests. Next, we learn about petroleum. Petroleum, also called crude oil and black gold. It is a fossil fuel. Like just coal and natural gas, petroleum was formed from the remains of ancient marine organisms such as plants, algae, and bacteria. Today, petroleum is found in vast underground reservoirs where ancient seas were located. Next, gas. Gas is non-renewable fossil fuel formed from the remains of tiny sea plants and animals that died 300 to 400 million years ago. The remains of tiny sea plants and animals sank to the bottom of the oceans where they were buried by sediment. Now, let me know you something about minerals and fuels. See, rocks on the earth are made up of substances called minerals. Minerals are another important natural resource. The minerals obtained from the earth are in an impure form. They are purified and used to make a number of things. We get metals such as iron, copper, aluminium, gold, and silver from minerals. These are shiny and hard. We also get other substances such as diamonds, mica, and limestone from minerals. Now, fuels such as petrol, diesel, natural gas, and coal are also obtained from the earth. And petrol, diesel, natural gas are obtained from petroleum. Okay, so the mineral resources on the earth are non-renewable. Once used up, they will not be available to us anymore. Minerals such as coal and petroleum, which gives us fuels for providing energy, are being used up rapidly. We should use these resources carefully and not waste them. To save these minerals, we should depend more on sources of energy that will never get used up, like solar energy and wind energy. Now we learn about the conservation of natural resources. So before we going to learn the ways of conserving natural resources, we needs to be understand that we have renewable resources or non-renewable resources. So which type of resources you should use more, renewable or non-renewable? Well, it is a very simple fact that we know non-renewable resources are limited in quantity. So if we keep on using them, their reserves will completely finish, while renewable resources are unlimited in nature and we can use them as much as we want. So, what do we understand? We understand that there is limited supply of non-renewable resources, so we should use them sensibly without wasting them. We should not waste electricity because in generating electricity, lot of fossil fuel is used. So turn off lights when not in use. And why it is important to turn off the lights when not in use? Because when you turn off the light, you're actually avoiding wastage of electricity, which is nothing but avoiding wastage of fossil fuels, because fossil fuels are used to generate electricity, so it is very important to turn off lights whenever not in use. Also, you should use maximum daylight. So whenever you have access to daylight, we should use maximum daylight instead of artificial lights such as bulbs and tube lights, which are powered by electricity. So that again you are saving electricity or saving fossil fuels. Also, limit the use of vehicles to save precious non renewable resources, because vehicles are powered by petrol, gas, and diesel, isn't it? And all these are fossil fuels. So, if you limit the use of vehicles, you're actually limiting the use of fossil fuels whose reserves are limited. So, how can we do that? Well, you can share your car. So, imagine three people traveling in three different cars, okay, and you're actually using three times more fossil fuels. And if all three travel in one single car, then you're actually using one third of original amount, isn't it? So if you're using much, so in that case you are using much lesser amount of fossil fuels, and you're actually avoiding wastage of fossil fuels. While brushing, shaving, washing, or bathing, do not leave the water running. Check for water leaks in pipes and toilets and repair them as soon as possible. Do you know, a small pinhole sized leak wastes 640 liters of water per month. To improve irrigation efficiency and reduce evaporation, use drip and sprinkling irrigation. Install a small system to collect rainwater and normally wasted used water from sinks, clothes washers, bathtubs, and so on, which can then be used to water plants. Construct a rain. So natural resources must be used wisely, because they are limited and will run out if they are squandered. Now we'll come to the conclusion. See, if we continue to deplete our natural resources at the current rate, we won't have much of them left in the future. It will cause problems for future generations. We must use natural resources with caution so that future generations are not harmed. We must all accept responsibility for preventing the waste of our natural resources. We must contribute to the preservation and conservation of the valuable resources that nature has bestowed upon us. So, this is all about natural resources and their types. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much.